Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Learning Science, and in this video we are going to discuss part 3 of chapter 4, materials, metals and non-metals. So let's proceed. The topics are covered in this chapter so far are how to classify materials and the physical properties of metals and non-metals we have discussed. Now we are going to discuss the chemical properties of both metals and non-metals. Let's start with reaction of with oxygen. So now first we are going to make metals react with oxygen. So let's start. Now we have our first metal here is magnesium. So magnesium, as you know, is a metal and its formula is Mg. Okay, formula here it means a short form. At all time you not make write the whole name. So you have small formulas for them to write. Now when magnesium, you have to make it react with O2. Again, O2 stands for oxygen. What we get is MgO. Now what is MgO? It is magnesium oxide. Okay, now we have to find the nature of this oxide. Now nature here means that whether it is acidic in nature or whether it is basic in nature, that we need to find out. So for that we make use of litmus paper. So you know litmus paper, there are two types of litmus paper, red and blue. So when red litmus paper turns to blue litmus paper, we say that the object is acidic in nature. But when we say that blue litmus paper has turned to red, we say it is, sorry, this is not acidic, sorry, this is basic. And when blue litmus paper turns to red, we say it is acidic in nature. So sorry for that mistake. So this is how we make use of litmus paper. So first we have to make magnesium oxide in aqueous solution. So how we do that? MgO have to react with water, H2O. So what we find is that MgOH whole twice is formed. MgOH whole twice is magnesium hydroxide. Okay, so magnesium hydroxide is formed, and when we test it with litmus paper, we see that red litmus paper turns to blue. So it is basic in nature. So you found that magnesium hydroxide is basic in nature. Okay, let's take example of another metal, iron. Iron, you know, it is also known as ferrous. Its formula is similar. Symbol is Fe. So when it reacts with oxygen plus H2. Now we have find exception. Do you remember the rust formation? So this is the reaction for that formation only. So when rust is formed, the ferrous iron it reacts with oxygen, means the in the atmosphere as well as water, the moisture present in the atmosphere. So the result is Fe2O3, which is iron oxide or rust. Okay, now when it reacts with water, the solution it is basic in nature. So you can perform an activity where you take some rust and dissolve it in water, and then when you check it with litmus paper, you will see that again red litmus paper it turns to blue litmus paper. Okay, you can try it now. So what here we conclude here is that metals oxide, when metals react with oxygen, metallic oxides or metal oxides are formed. And when we find their nature by making them react with water, solution formed is basic in nature. So our conclusion here stops with that sorry metal oxides are basic in nature. I hope it's clear. Okay, let's move further. Now reaction with oxygen, non-metal. So when non-metals react with oxygen, so let's take example of sulfur. Okay, sulfur is a non-metal. Its symbol is S. When it reacts with oxygen, O2, SO2, which is sulfur dioxide is formed. Now we have to find the nature of SO2, sulfur dioxide. So we make it react with water, H2O. So what is formed? Sulfurous acid is formed. acid is formed, which is H2SO3. So the sulfurous acid is formed. So as the name suggests, it is acidic in nature. You can even test with a litmus paper. So red litmus paper will turn to blue litmus paper. Now let's take example of another non-metal. Yes. So let's have carbon here. So carbon, as you know, it's a non-metal, as we have discussed in the starting of the chapter only. So carbon plus oxygen, that is very common. CO2. Everyone can tell it is carbon dioxide. Now when CO2, carbon dioxide, reacts with water, H2O, carbonic acid is formed. Again, if you will test it with a litmus paper, you will find that it is acidic in nature. So we find that carbonic, when non-metals reacted with oxygen, non-metallic oxides were formed, and when they were react, when we made them react with water, acid was formed. So here our basic conclusion here is that when non-metals react with oxygen, non-metallic oxides are formed, and their nature is acidic in nature. So they're acidic in nature. Non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Clear? Okay. Now does copper also get rusted? Now the question comes, does copper also get rusted? So here is your answer. When any article of copper, say copper vessel, is exposed to water for a long time, it acquires a dull green coating. Not only water but oxygen as well as CO2. It acquires a dull green coating. The green coating is a mixture of copper hydroxide and copper carbonate. So what is the reaction we are getting here is 2Cu. Why 2 copper? See copper here, you know that copper symbol is Cu. That you need to remember that copper symbol is Cu. Okay. So 2Cu, copper hydroxide and copper carbonate. So 2Cu are here plus H2O, water, plus CO2, carbon dioxide, plus O2, oxygen. What is formed? CuOH whole twice, which is copper hydroxide, and CuCO3, it is copper carbonate. So we found here that when copper, it reacts with water, carbon dioxide and oxygen, copper hydroxide and copper carbonate are formed. And this is basically the mixture of the rust, the dull green coating on the copper vessel. That is this rust. So this rust is the mixture of CuOH whole plus and CuCO3. Clear? Okay. So here we come to end of our session. Thank you everyone. For more such videos, subscribe to our channel, and our fourth part is coming soon on reaction with water. So stay tuned for watching that. Thank you. Keep learning.